Hello, everybody, and happy Labor Day to all of you that are here in the United States. We are doing a special holiday edition today of our Member Monday Spotlight, and I'm bringing Pooja forward today. She is probably one of my favorite newest members, I have to say. Everything about her I love. I've had her in to talk with my private clients and to teach them a lot about ChatGPT. She's brilliant in that area, and I hear she has a new book being released, and she's here to talk to us today about the misconceptions and struggles of being an introvert. And I'm assuming, Pooja, that means you're an introvert.
Yeah,
Okay.
I definitely am. I think in general, as a whole, like growing up, we're always told to be extroverted, and I think now it's kind of changed a little bit. But I kind of talk about in the book about like the different struggles that I had to deal with, or just like constant comments that I would get, and it kind of made me want to go into the other direction where I didn't want to talk to anyone. I was more closed off. And then I kind of, in high school, I ended up going to my English class, and I connected with a teacher who was also a speech coach, and he was trying to get people on board. And once I joined that speech team, it kind of, my whole like perception changed of like how I saw myself, what introverts were about, and like kind of changed how I perceived myself. Where I thought like, oh, like I'm introverted, I should only keep to myself. I kind of put myself in a box in a
Mm.
way, and I was like, no, like I can go and speak to people. I can talk to people. It doesn't, there's no negative connotation of like who I am as a person.
Yeah. So you're saying that once you got visibility for yourself and gained confidence through being on stages, right? Speaking through that and being taught how to speak, that really helped you come out of your shell a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I highly recommend that to anyone listening that might feel like they're an introvert or feel that they aren't confident enough to speak in front of other people. You said you saw yourself different. What did that mean, Pooja?
I think how people perceive introverts, it's like they only fit in one box. And I think like when I had different like negative experiences with it, I put myself in a box because I wanted to to like to, I guess, like in a sense, rebel against those specific ideas. But
Hmm.
then I realized like I'm I'm also like limiting myself if I don't public speak, because I know that like public speaking could get you better opportunities. And I know it's like there's like a statistic where it's the one of the biggest fears that people have compared to death. And for me, I'm like, I guess like I didn't want to hold myself back from like
Yeah.
I didn't want to limit myself
Yeah.
on what I could do. Um, and I think that I didn't want to have like those specific like definitions of like I wanted to expand
Mhm.
based on like different perceptions of how I viewed myself versus and how other people viewed me as well.
I hear that a lot, that individuals, they'll say they're introverted and it's almost an excuse. Like, oh, I'm an introvert, so I don't feel comfortable in crowds, or I'm an introvert. I don't feel comfortable with speaking out or going to a networking event that's in person. I just need to be in my own shell. And do you feel that sometimes, and I'm glad you wrote this about the misconceptions and struggles of being an introvert, because I don't know if it's really understood by everyone. And if one person labels someone an introvert, it seems like they let that label stick. And then forever they're saying, I'm an introvert. And I
Yeah.
feel that we are who we become and say we are based on what we believe versus what other people label us as. So, how did writing this book help you kind of overcome some of that? Because I know writing helps us overcome a lot of fears and misconceptions, as you talk about.
I think I realized like um, I just wanted to have my own choice of what I wanted to do with my life. And I didn't really want other people to dictate it. So for me,
Yeah.
it's like when I did public speaking, that was my choice to do it.
Yeah.
Um, and it wasn't like I was trying to prove myself to someone else. And I think when I was earlier on, when I tried to reject that idea, um, I kind of restricted myself on like what I could possibly do. And now I don't have that negative perception of like me going and talking with people and things like that. It's more of like, okay, I don't, I have a certain amount of time that I want to talk to people, and this is how I like go about doing certain things.
That's good. Yeah. So you limit yourself where you need to limit yourself, and you're structured in how you're collaborating and communicating and showing up. And I think that's important for each one of us. It should never be about others' expectations. It should always be about how our expectations. And I will tell you that you're brilliant when it comes to technology. So if that's an area that you've chosen to dive into because it's more of a comfort zone of yours, I will tell you it's not a comfort zone of mine, right? That technology thing is not. Once I master something, I can get it, but I don't just dive into technology because I feel a pull to it or something that, it more frustrates me
Yeah.
than anything. So it's possible that dove into technology because of how comfortable you feel with utilizing it. And now I've seen you come out and teach, especially chat gpt, to so many groups. So do you want to talk a little bit more about your fascination with that and your skill sets and why you've dove into that platform?
Yeah, for me, like I've always wanted to be efficient. I think for me, I like organization, things
Yeah.
like that. So when I discovered ChatGPT, I was like, I need to use this for like everything that like takes me more time than it usually should have. Like that's where I'm like, okay, I just need to use it for like a time where I don't have to think as much. Like for example, writing emails where it's pretty simple to write an
Mhm.
email, but it takes a lot of time to think about what you're going to write. And so if I could cut down time on certain tasks like that, where I could just focus more on like the bigger tasks at hand, like I will absolutely use it. And when I started using ChatGPT, I started obviously using it in my content creation, my social media posts, and I started talking with a lot of people, and I started seeing a lot of YouTube videos. But I saw it was a I saw like a lot of the posts were more about just like one post, and I didn't think it was as tailored, or it was still pretty generic. And I
Mhm.
think ChatGPT or the people who still use it still find that like if you don't tailor it enough, it can come off pretty generic at
Yeah.
first. So I
Yeah.
wanted to create like a workflow that is simple to use, but then also effective and creates better prompts, because like within ChatGPT, like the what you're looking for is only as good as the output. So you have to learn how to prompt better and
Yeah.
ask better questions.
You've got to give it input, right? To get to
Yeah.
understand your persona, is what you call it. And that was the first time I really understood that we needed to do that, was when you came and taught my private clients, and we talked about that, and they were just blown away to the point where you've changed their business, you've changed how they are able to get information now, utilizing chat gpt as a friendly kind of partner versus, here, I'm just looking for a quick fix. I'm looking for a content writer to just write my
Right.
content. Now they utilize it as a partnership for them to be able to input information and retrieve information based on really more of it tailored to who they are, how they speak, what they do, what they're looking for, what they are, inspired by. And I think that's a huge piece that's missing in a lot of the trainings for Chat GPT out there is really getting it to personalize more toward you.
Right.
Yeah. And you're actually going to be teaching and leading at our retreat that we have November 1st through the 5th in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I'm excited to have you there to not only participate in this business building retreat, but also be able to teach everyone there about that. So I'll be sure to drop those links in as well. For everyone, but I have dropped the link on how to connect with Pooja. So here's her link. She's also connected to this video. So you will be able to connect with her on LinkedIn. That's going to be how you find out about pre-ordering the book. We do have the link here. And so that's going to take you to an area where when the book is available for pre-order, you'll be able to pre-order. But connect with her and follow Pooja on LinkedIn. That way you can know when the book is going to be pre-ordered, and you can know when her next workshop is. You can connect with her to come in. I'm going to highly recommend that if you're listening to this and you're a coach of any kind, that you connect with Pooja to come in and teach on these subjects with your clients. It's very beneficial for them in being able to, for them to be able to have this ability, my gosh, to use GPT and AI that exists out there really, to its fullest. So when is the book going to be released, Pooja? When are we going to know more about that?
It will be, the Kindle version will be released October 5th.
Okay.
And then paperback will be 5 to 7 days after, like a week after.
Nice. Okay, so the book release is going to be on October 5th. So we'll make sure that we have that information in there as well. Again, connect with Pooja on LinkedIn. What was it like for this experience for you, Pooja? Is this your first book that you've done?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was definitely interesting because I've never written a book before. So now I'm kind of excited for it to come out because I I think for me, I've always wanted to write a book, but I think it overwhelms by how much work it is to write a book by yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to be a part of this anthology, and I think now it has given me more motivation to like, oh, I can write more books or I can do more things with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I remember my very first book I did was an anthology, and it kind of got me going like, ooh, I like this, having a book, and this is so great, and being able to say I'm an author. And whenever you're on the radio or, getting TV interviews, they always want to ask about a book. And so I always say it's a good gateway into those types of channels, being on the radio and TV, is because you have, these books that you can share. And now that you've gotten the taste for it, I'm sure this will not be your last. We're going to see many more books coming from you. Do you have any other workshops or anything coming up, or any summits that you're part of, or anything you'd like to share with us that we can share with the group, where maybe you're going to be chatting more about ChatGPT or technology?
I don't have anything right now, but I'll definitely connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'm constantly sharing different events that I'm doing. Um, if I ever have like a workshop or anything like that.
Okay, great. Yeah. And like I said, we have the retreat coming November 1st through the 5th. So we will be sure to drop those links for everyone that they can join in on the retreat. That's November 1st through the 5th in Scottsdale, Arizona. Super excited that we have Pooja there. We've got a lineup of amazing teachers and leaders, and it's 5 full days of business coaching, business building, masterminding, networking, private chef in a beautiful house. What better way to walk out of a place with a business action plan so you know exactly what you need to do to start generating more money in your business? It's awesome. So Pooja, we're so happy that you're going to be one of our guest leaders and speakers at that event. So thank you so much for that. You can pre-order the book by going to this link. She's going to have that ready for you very soon to pre-order the book. And again, on LinkedIn, make sure you connect with Pooja. Pooja, any last words that you'd like to share about the book?
Um, I think that just in general, I think for like my story, it's more you there's going to be a lot of people telling you what you should be and who you are, but I would say that understanding who you are and like allowing yourself to define you is like the most important thing.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that message. That's probably one of the most important messages that we can share today is, you define yourself, right? You do, and not letting others do that. And I can't wait to get your book and read it. And I know there's probably, it's called Perfectly Imperfect. Is that the name
Yes.
of the book?
Yes.
Perfectly Imperfect is the name of the book. And Pooja wrote a chapter on the misconceptions and struggles of being an introvert. And I think it's going to be a beautiful chapter. And we're looking forward to having you at the retreat on November 1st through the 5th. And to everybody out there, happy Labor Day. If you are looking for ways for you to be able to be seen and be visible and be able to be heard, the LEAP community is a wonderful place for you to be able to do that. So come check us out and join us so you can also be interviewed just like Pooja was today on a Member Monday Spotlight. We hope you all have an amazing rest of your week. We know a lot of you are taking the day off for the holidays. So when you see this, make sure you reach out to Pooja and connect with her and connect with us, and grab a copy of her book when it comes out. Pooja, thanks so much. Everyone, have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye for now.